Hello, seventh grade. All right, I'm going to try to go as quickly as possible before my 2-year-old finds me. Really quick, this week is week 5, week 6. This week is week 6, and we are going to finally take our oceans test. So I just want to kind of give you the layout really quick since this is Monday's answer key video for the study guide. So today we're going to go over the video. Then you're going to take your open note test when you feel ready. After that, if you want to do test corrections, you can. If you choose to do test corrections, you need to make yourself a copy and then email that completed test correction form to your science teacher. Remember that if you do not restate the question in a complete sentence with the correct answer, you do not get credit for it. So even though I am not here or your science teachers are not there, do know that you are held to those expectations when completing those. And last but not least, we're trying something new. We're going to try a weekly check-in form. It's a little more private. So I want to go ahead and try it. I also have a survey in there for what you guys want, trying to make sure that, we're making this class for distance learning something that you guys are thriving with and not something that you are struggling with. So obviously we have to do work. We have to get through some content. We have to get through some standards that we didn't get to for the rest of the year. But it also kind of gives you some choices there. So let's get started. So our study guide, I am just going to review what you basically need to know for the test, okay? So a surface wave is caused by wind. The stronger the wind, the bigger the wave. And basically how it's formed is the force between the air, the wind, and the water create friction, which therefore creates that surface wave. Upwelling occurs when deep, cold water with nutrients rise to the surface. It's good for fishing because it does bring fish to the surface, but it also brings nutrients to the surface. Great Ocean Conveyor Belt is caused by a density current, so that's that second vertical wave. The first one was that upwelling. So a density current, so water will freeze, leaving behind extra salt, which causes it to become more dense and sinks. And this is what it looks like. It goes through the entire globe and brings warm and cold water throughout the globe. Surface currents are, if you remember that map with the gyres on it, so the surface currents are those smaller gyres in the separate oceans. And so it affects the climate on the continents. California current will cool the coast because the water is from the warm. So it's from the poles. So if you remember, the California current is going downward down the west coast. The Gulf Stream is going up from the equator, going up the east coast, and therefore it's bringing warm water from the equator and warming that east coast. Okay, so the surface currents are also caused by wind and the Coriolis effect, which causes it to rotate in a clockwise or counterclockwise direction. There are 5 oceans, and from biggest to smallest, we have Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Southern, and Arctic. 70% or nearly 3/4 of Earth is covered by oceans. So this is our ocean floor diagram. If you could see the divergent mid-ocean range here. So we have separating plates happening here. One's going this way, one's going this way. And we are getting new seafloor in the middle here. And then we have our convergent boundary. Our convergent boundary is when we have 2 plates meeting. And so when we have this oceanic plate going underneath the continental plate, it's going down, causing this trench here. And it will also cause volcanoes, but that is not in the test. Okay. El Nino and La Nina is not on the test, I don't think, but just go ahead and write it down just in case. I know I didn't cover it. So El El Nino and La Nina, both of them are similar in that they both occur every 2 to 7 years, and they both last the majority of the year, about 8 to 10 months. Okay, so an El Nino, whenever you hear weather or meteorologists talk about how there is an El Nino, it's talking about a climate or weather pattern that is warmer and wetter than usual. And then when you hear meteorologists say that we are in a La Nina, sorry, here's my 2-year-old as a special guest. When you talk about La Nina, it is drier and cooler than normal. Okay. All right. So this concludes all of our study guide. And so now you guys can go ahead and take your open note test. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. And I look forward to hearing from you on those forms. All right. Bye, guys.